guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to tell you the exact steps that you need to follow to successfully be able to rent out your new rental property. I have been renting out properties for the past decade, and the whole process can seem really overwhelming. So I'm just going to break it down step by step to make it super easy and seamless and give you tips that have worked for me along the way. Step number one, get the property 100% ready for showings. So what I do after purchasing a property is I look at the inspection report and see if there's anything major that needs to be done. I do work with some trusted subcontractors that can take me through that paperwork easily and really decipher what actually needs to be done to the property and what's worth spending money on. The other thing is to have it professionally cleaned so it looks its best for photos, and want to make sure that you have the proper insurance. So that is going to be a landlord insurance policy. Next is going to be gathering all of the photos and videos that you'll use to post the property. I use Zillow, it's free. They syndicate your property onto other platforms such as Trulia, and they also accept applications directly through the platform. It's really easy to use, and you can upload photos and video content of your rental property. You don't need a professional photographer, but you do need to be mindful when you go in to take photos of the property, because that's what's really gonna sell it. So make sure you take some nice photos inside and outside. Be as detailed as possible with the description and also the rent that you're asking for, what utilities you're covering, what utilities they're covering, what amenities the property has, what the parking situation is. Just list as much information as possible so you are fully depicting the property and you don't get a bunch of applicants that don't actually fit the property or the criteria. And when it comes to posting the property, do some research as far as what the fair rental value is of other properties in the neighborhood. I always go on a little bit higher side, start it there, and then you can step down if you're not getting that many inquiries. Other places that I do post that aren't as fruitful as Zillow are going to be Facebook Marketplace as well as Craigslist. The next step is going to be vetting or pre-screening candidates. You don't want to waste your time at a bunch of showings for people that don't even fit your criteria. So you always want to ask for at least 2 times monthly income as compared to the rent. So if your rent's $1,000, they at least need to be making $2,000 per month pre-tax income. But ideally, you use the 2.5 rate. So if your rent is $1,000, they should be making $2,500 per month pre-tax. Credit score, we typically set our threshold at 650 or above. Sometimes we will make exceptions, especially if there's going to be a co-signer or if there's co-applicants and one credit score is high and the other one's low. Lastly is going to be rental history. So do they have a good rental history or track record and can provide valid references? And how this process works with applicants is once you post on Zillow, people are going to start messaging you saying they want showings. So what I do is I write a boilerplate message saying, hey, here's everything we're looking for. If you meet this criteria, great, we have showings on this date and this date. I do like to offer dates for showings, usually weekend and weekday options, just so that I can batch showings and I'm not going to the house every single time someone wants to see it. The great thing about Zillow is the applicant can apply directly on Zillow and put in all of their income, their credit report, etc. It does cost about $45, but they can use that application towards any other properties that they're looking at. If someone doesn't want to fill out an application pre-showing, that's fine with me as long as I get a verbal or written confirmation that they do meet our criteria. The other thing you want to keep in mind, especially if you're in California, is you do want to generally accept all applications. So people will ask you if you accept Section 8, people will ask you if you accept emotional support animals. You always just want to say, yes, we're accepting all applications, and then at the end of the day, you can go go through applications and choose who you really want. You don't want to get yourself in a discrimination situation, so you always just want to accept all applications, and then on the back end, you can choose who the best fit is for your property. The next step, once you've batched your showings and you pre-vetted the candidates, show the property. I like to have all the lights on. If the house has any sort of funky smell, put the doors and windows open, show them the amenities, tell them about parking, how everything works, and answer all of their questions from there. I do like having a face-to-face. If I do have a serious applicant that can't make a physical showing, I will do a Zoom call, because a lot of times you can tell a lot about a person just from speaking with them face-to-face that you can't tell over text message. So I do like to see the actual person before we move forward with a lease. Once you show the property, you can now move forward with the application process if the person hasn't already filled out an application or applied on Zillow. So we have two options for applications. We have a 2-page paper application that they can fill out. It includes all of their personal information, what their income is, what kind of car they drive, if they'll have any pets, and I can send you that if you want to DM me. I have a boilerplate application that we use for all of our properties, or they can apply on Zillow. Once I get applications in hand, I review the applications, but I don't at this point ask for credit reports or call references. After I do a review and decide who I want to move forward with, I then ask for a holding deposit of $1,000 that will go towards the security deposit. I tell the potential tenant, hey, we'd like to move forward with your application. Everything looks great, it fits our criteria, but we do take a holding deposit just so we can put those other applicants on hold and do a thorough investigation of everything that you've listed on your application, because that does take time and resources, and I'm not going to do that thorough process for every single person. So they do need to give me a holding deposit of $1,000. What happens with that holding deposit if we decide not to move forward is they get their money back. If we do decide to move forward, we'll use it towards the security deposit. But if they have given us money and we qualify them and want to move forward and they choose not to, we do keep that $1,000 deposit. After the holding deposit, you are going to do a full application review. So you are going to get a full credit report. They can provide you this. There are free credit reports that people can get on an annual basis from places like Experian. And I'm not only looking at the credit score, but I'm seeing the outstanding debt payments that they have, because I want to make sure that they can actually afford this rent. So what I do on a spreadsheet is I put what the rent is, what their income is, and what all of their other debt expenses are, just to make sure that they can really afford this property. Also want to get copies of all the tenants' driver's license that are over 18. You'll want to verify past rental history by calling their references and asking them key questions. I can send you a list of those questions if you need them. Just message me. And lastly, I will do a wage and employment verification. I'll ask for their last 2 pay stubs, their W-2s from last year, and a contact that I can speak with at their employment, so I can verify that they do in fact work there and how long they've worked there and what their position and salary is. Once you have reviewed the full application and are moving forward, you want to make sure you're on the same page with the tenant as far as payment. So you need to get the security deposit in full upon signing the lease and first month's rent upon move-in. Once we've confirmed all the financial details, we're going to move forward to drafting the lease. I draft all of our leases on a platform called Rocket Lawyer. I love the templates that they have. You can choose the state that you're in, and it's boilerplate, plug and play, and then you can add any specific nuances or modifications that you need for your property. Once your lease is done, you can send it out for signatures. You do not want to give the keys to the tenant until you have signatures on the lease and the security deposit and first months in hand. If you have any questions, let me know. I hope this video was useful.